All right, guys, good morning. It's Saturday. Saturday, man. Namaste. God bless. How are all of you guys? Wait a moment. It's that time again, guys. Wake up, man. It's time to get to work here at America's Mentor. God, I hope this helps you. I'm a big blockhead when it comes to learning new stuff, but when I get it, I get it. And hopefully you guys will really understand that Scripture in general, to me, and this is whatever belief you have about Scripture and religion, whatever it might be, and there's actually two different categories. There's a religion and there's a Scripture aspect of it. I use Scripture as information, and what it did for me was when I got it through my little thick skull, I realized that they were telling us something in a lot of ways. And Lao Tzu, the Chinese philosopher I had posted yesterday with that, thank you guys for the likes on that, helped me a long time ago. And it helped me realize that the inside world had to change before the outside world. So I'm going to read his little quote here. If you correct your mind, the rest will fall into place. I was like, back then, many moons ago, I was like, bullshit. I said, I'm sleeping and there's bugs crawling on me. I'm in this motel. What are you talking about? So that was the beginnings of my journaling, the deep journaling. And I started creating these affirmations. And I just wrote out for the hell of it, pardon the pun here on our show today, I wrote out, I want a new home. Thank you. I think I wrote it 1,000 times. Thousands. I mean, I just kept writing every day. I want a new home. I want a new home. I didn't know how I was going to get it. But what I realized before I acquired the loft here was the fact that the new home was in me. That I had to create my new home before I can get the outside home. Does that make sense? And that's basically all they explain in Scripture, is you learning from the inside, which projects on the outside. But a lot of us have been taught, and this is the hard thing about what religion did to us in a lot of ways, and I'm not saying it in any condescending way. I'm being very, very, how should we say, open today on this matter, because the fact that a lot of people have had taken hold of it and thinking that something else is going to do it for us in life. No, we create everything, guys. And when you realize we've been given the power to create everything, that's when everything starts to change. But the problem is you got to change your house, man. You got to rebuild it. You got to rebuild the foundation of your mindset and how you feel about life. And out of the quote box today, and this is really cool because for some, it may be a material thing, but for me, it was an internal before it became material. So out of the quote box, to experience heaven requires you to leave the castle. We already have a castle. It's where we are right now. But in order for you to experience the kingdom, your paradise, wherever you want to go in life, you have to rebuild the castle. And what do Colossians say on that? And I'll get to the meanings on that because it'll help you to find the sense of heaven in our minds. And this is deep thinking, guys. This is, if it doesn't make sense to you, I get it. It didn't make sense to me until I was at the bottom feeder of life. And I opened that book and I said, wait a minute, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way because I'm a good person in general, but my outside world doesn't reflect what I really want. And I want to create something different. And this is what caused me to start thinking differently. But I had to rebuild the house on the inside to create the virtual world that I wanted on the outside. So here we go. Colossians 3:2. Set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. And that was the hardest thing for me to understand. Things above, what are you talking about? In their sense, they're talking about the mind. They put it as above, as a heavenly above, your thought process in general. As above, so below. And indeed, it goes on to say, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. In other words, your thinking process, how you think, thy will be done. And this hopefully this inspires you guys, because now you are basically in communion with what we've been endowed with. That's why I call it communion. That's why we used to receive those wafers back then, man. Communion with God. You had to eat them. No, He's already in us, man. He's already in us in the most awesome way. But we just got to realize how to use the amazing power to actually send out there to the quantum field, to our meta and our energy that surrounds us every single day. So here we go with heaven. Heaven is a noun. It's a spiritual state of everlasting communion with God. Isn't that great? Meaning a thinking state, in essence, an energy state. And it goes on to say, a place or condition of utmost happiness. If you walk around every day, like I do, and yesterday was a hard day. I didn't have that heaven mentality. Asking my employees yesterday, it was just very busy. You know, you get a couple meatballs here and there, pardon the pun, but you get a couple. It happens. But when the more you stay in that heavenly state of communion with your Creator, or whatever you want to call it, him, her, it, that, whatever pronoun you want to put with that, the more you live in that state, you change your mindset. Therefore, it gives you the confidence to proceed to think about where you want to go in a better way. It's like you buying a new car and keeping it new. I walked by my daughter's car a while back, and I said, "Sweetie, you got to clean your car." "Oh, I know. Yeah, you like my new car?" It says, "It's not a new car. It's your old self in an old car now, man." Does that make sense? She just brought the old to the old. You can't do that with life. If you want a new kingdom, you got to leave that castle. You got to understand that it's a different thinking, thought process, a continuous thought process that you have to do every single day. It may sound complicated. It's not. It's not. And when I realized that affirmation I was writing, I want a new home, and then I said thank you. And in essence, it started to come to me in thought, not about the home, but about the confidence to get the home. I already had the money in the bank, man, at that time, at that point. I was already excelling in what I was doing. I was afraid to leave the castle. You understand? We were programmed in a certain way, and that sticks with us. Until you change that, man, you're going to be stuck in so many ways. And this is really deep today. So I hope this really gives you guys a little bit of confidence, because the kingdom of heaven, as they say, and I actually have this up on Roman mythology, it's something for you guys to think about, because it states here the kingdom of heaven was in the central theme of Jesus' preaching ministry. Indeed, it goes on to say, by the kingdom of heaven, Jesus meant a particular level of human consciousness, not a place for which Christians are destined for death. What does it say? Right friggin' here, right now, meatball. How you're thinking is what you're creating in your life. You create your own heaven and hell. You create everything in your life by your thought process of it. And when you change your thought process, you're building a new castle. Therefore, you accelerate where you want to go in life. And it's awesome, because who else said this? Confucius, man. These guys ruled back then. I love it. I absolutely love it, because they knew the system. And here we go. Heaven means to be one with God. What does that say? You're not on earth, man, as is in heaven. Does that make sense? Think about it for yourself today, guys. It's really simple to explain, hard to understand because you don't have the actual results. But believe me when I tell you, the more you live in where you want to go, on a mental aspect, you're going to rebuild where you've been, and you're gonna move out and create your own kingdom of heaven per se. And what's the next word? Not in the quote box today. Plans. An orderly arrangement of parts of an overall design and or objective, goal or aim. So when people, people don't plan to fail. We really don't. We don't plan to fail. We just fail to plan. And getting your thoughts right is just you planning on what you want to think about every single day. Either affirm it, like I do in my journaling, or whatever it might be in your life. It's a deep subject to understand, but it's really, you're not going to fail when you're thinking in a heavenly state of mind, or living in a heavenly state of mind. That's living in the present. And all you do is create from there. If you live in that past thought mentality, which I'm getting a show together for, I think for tomorrow night, because I'm doing a double. If you live in that past mentality, all you can create is that past mentality. You're not rebuilding your castle per se, and you can't move forward. You're always going to be, because we have our own little, a man's home is his castle. Bullshit. I want to make sure I build the most amazing place inside, because I know it's going to permeate on the outside world. And whatever it might be, whatever state of mind you live in is the reality that you bring in. So when you change how you look at things, as Wayne Dyer said, things you look at change. It could be the same thing you're looking at every day, but if you change your perception of it, life is going to follow that. And you start attaching goals and plans to those feelings, does that make sense? It's going to start to permeate in your existence. And this is the great thing about life. It's not a riddle anymore, man. The problem is, like I said on many, many shows at America's Mentor, is we don't come into this world with an owner's manual. Life throws a lot of shit at us in so many different ways. And like Colossians said, set your mind. You are in charge of your mind. The world isn't. If you allow the world is with fear and immersing yourself in with all the drama that's around you, yeah, indeed, the world's going to run your life. But if you set your mind on things above, that's your imagination is the biggest nation in the world, man. It's your creative process. And if you keep doing that on a constant basis, life is going to respond on a constant basis. You're not a victim anymore unless you think you are. The more you experience heaven and your mindset and your creativeness, and then you start attaching something to that, like the love of your life or abundance, money, success, a new home, whatever it might be, you're going to be attracted to that. It's really that simple. It is, but you got to keep doing it. Yeah, we're going to have days, man. You're going to have days where you're going to feel like you're in the shitter. I get it. But heaven, the synonyms of heaven is awesome because it's paradise, nirvana, and utopia. The more you live in it, guys, you are going to experience heaven on earth. As they said, as above. Your thinking, you sow below. It's like the cause and effect in your life. You keep doing that on a constant basis. We're already doing it. We're just probably doing it fast backwards like I was taught, and didn't realize I was creating the reality I never ever wanted in my life. But I didn't realize it was my thinking mindset, my programming, my fear mentality, the lack mentality. Even though I had the money in the bank, man, I had everything there ready to go, I was still living in this Motel 6 being crawled on by roaches. It was the most disgusting thing. But once I changed my castle and I changed what I thought about myself, it was all right there. Everything we want is right there. You got to realize you already have it, because the minute you embrace it in thought and feeling, it's yours. You just got to keep watering that seed. You got to keep, how should we say, enabling the root to expand. And if you keep doing it with either daily affirmations or journaling, whatever it might be, walks on the beach like, who the hell did that many moons ago? I forgot. But I'm not going to bother with that today, guys. But I'm going to read it to you one more time. I'm going to let you guys understand how truly powerful you are. To experience heaven on earth requires you to leave the castle that you've been living in all your life. And if you keep doing that constantly, thinking that constantly, believing that constantly, then you start jotting down ideas and shit in places you want to go, it's going to start to manifest. You're going to start seeing the synchronicities in your life to match up with your new thought process. That's your heaven. And then you start creating more castles from there and wherever you're going in life. So guys, hopefully this simple yet powerful segment enables you guys to realize you're not a victim anymore, unless you believe you are. You're not. You tell, whatever you tell yourself is what you bring to yourself. And the more you keep telling yourself who you want to be, or what you want to be, or what you want to have, attain, grow, be, do, whatever, life is going to respond. This is the beauty of quantum science. This is what these guys back then in caves were telling us thousands of years ago. They were telling us evolution of life, and they were explaining it, yes, indeed, in their ways and everything else. But believe it for yourself. It's up to you. You guys can take religion and grasp it as servitude to being a servant of life, or you can be a co-creator with the person who brought us here, or not person, but energy that brought us here, or whatever, or however you believe it, guys. It's a complex system of energies all put together that create this amazing us. And it's a great understanding of the knowledge that who you are, you can bring anything you want in life. We're already doing it. We just don't realize how we're doing it. When you realize the how, you'll figure out the why, and then you realize you can create even better from there, because now you know what not to do anymore, guys. So enjoy your Saturday. I gotta get to work, man. Sorry, neighbors, if I woke you guys up today. I've been kind of loud today, guys. America's Mentor _radio at America's Mentor on Twitter, at America's Mentor on YouTube, guys. Thanks for the Jackson views on the reels. They are so much fun, guys. Do what makes you happy, man. Become that amazing you. You have that chance. You have that, but it starts with a choice. Are you going to take the words that I give you as some sacred religion, or are you going to take them as inspiration? Because that's what it was meant to be, in my humble opinion, and which has only brought me forth in the most beautiful ways. It's not serving anybody. It's creating a better you. Remember that, guys. Enjoy your Saturday. I'll see you guys soon, man.